welcome to Trashy, where we take a dumpster dive on this week's garbage people and look at all the trashiest news stories. My name is Erica, and I am your host.
My name is Cassandra, and I'm your other host. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Drank a little bit last night. I'm not here to lie, but I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I drank a little bit last night. I went to Pizzeria Mosta,
Delicious.
one of Nancy Silverton's many delicious restaurants, and have family in town, and they were like, oh, we should get, are we going to do cocktails? We're going to do wine. Decided we do wine, and then it's like, what would we like? Well, the waiter started, of course, suggesting some reds.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also had to go, wait, what are the price points on these reds? Because we could have quickly had a $250 bottle.
Yeah, they have like sommeliers there. Oh, they have it at the Mozza next door. I don't know if the sommeliers wander over to the pizzeria, but
oh, they got somms there too. I think they work in the ecosystem.
That's fair. They're in the Mozzaverse.
They're in the Mozzaverse. So we had to go, ooh, we'll have one of this many dollar bottles of wine. What do you suggest for this and under?
Like dry, fruit forward. I don't care. I'm looking for $35 tasting wine.
We're like, I think we have a house red. We're like, that sounds great. House brand.
They're like, books in the back have something on tap.
They brought it in themselves.
Yeah. If it's the Kirkland box, though, you're in good shape.
Yes.
That shit's good.
It's amazing. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Let's hop into it. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. I do have one thing. I did tease it a couple weeks ago, but I'm gonna get into it because I'm a woman of my word.
Sure.
And when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
What are you talking about? This is 2 weeks. We didn't do a podcast last week.
We didn't do a podcast. So this has been 3 weeks in the making.
Wow.
And I said, we didn't have time for it on one episode, but I said, I'm going to talk about my new Bigfoot theory.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
And so I've been spending some time with the Mormons recently. I've been watching Under the Banner of Heaven on Hulu.
You know that those people on TV are not spending time with you, right?
I don't understand. I'm having a parasocial relationship with the Mormons.
Okay.
I've been spending some time with Mom Talk, the TikTok mom swingers, the controversy. If you don't know, just Google Mom Talk. It's a whole thing. We're not going to cover it. It's just too much. But I've been spending some time with the Mormons. I've been doing some deep diving. And there is an explanation for Bigfoot within Mormonism.
Okay.
So Mormon lore has it. One of the bigwigs back in Mormonism, not like a founder, but like one of the early prophets, like one of the bigwigs kind of guys.
Sure.
He was riding on his horse back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And a guy came up to him and he was about shoulder height with him. He's on a horse. This guy's shoulder height with him. So very tall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very hairy. And they get to talking. And they're talking, and so it's never outright said. He never explicitly says any of this, but it's all, talked around and implied that, oh, me and my descendants, we can never die. We can never ascend to heaven. We can never go to hell. We have to walk the earth forever. We are cursed. Okay, so it's like, all right, so these big hairy creatures can never die. So that's why there's never bones or fossil records of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're the descendants of Cain. Cain from the Bible, who killed his brother Abel. Bigfoot is the descendant of Cain, according to the Mormons.
Mm-hmm.
Do you follow the strings? Are you following it down? The Cain is cursed to walk the earth forever, and his descendants, and now they're Bigfoot.
Cain,
the guy who killed his brother from
Cain and Abel,
from the beginning books, from the Old Testament.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's just walking the earth, growing hair.
Because he can't shave. I mean, where are you gonna get razors? You got the mark of Cain. The mark of Cain is the hair. is the hair.
Okay. So that makes sense if the Bible's real.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, like, are you putting this out there to prove Bigfoot? Because then you need to also prove to me the Bible.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You know what came to mind is that scene in Twilight when Edward throws Bella on his back and runs her out to the forest, and he was like, "Do I not frighten you? Are you not scared? Do my speed? I could crush you in my grip." And she's like, "No, I'm not. I'm not afraid." And then he's like, "Well, wait till you see me in the sunlight. See, your skin sparkles like diamonds. Like it's a curse, whatever." That's what came to mind of like, like I kind of want to rewrite Twilight with a Bigfoot being like,
Honest,
"Do I
shit.
do I not frighten you?"
Honestly, like dead ass stop the podcast right now. And this is now a production meeting about us rewriting Twilight, but with Bigfoots. Dead ass. Okay. Podcast over. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Trashy Trashy. Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
You stay garbage, girl.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Like, can you imagine? That would be so good. Like, I'm like tempted to tell you to cut it. It was such an old reference, though.
Tune into the 2023 Friends show of Cass and Erica present Twilight, but Bigfoots.
That's literally what it's called. Twilight, but Bigfoots.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's so
Bigfoot's
funny.
cane. Bigfoot is cane. That's why there's never fossils and bones. That's why there's no proof. Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, why are you trash?
All right, I might get us in trouble here.
Okay. Oh no.
I listened to BTS for the first time,
Yes.
and it's just like whatever.
Shit, Cassandra, I'm cutting this. Their army will come after. We have said some controversial shit about people, but I will not take a stand on BTS. we cannot hashtag this. We cannot put this in the SEO.
I'm
If
sorry,
one
dude.
BTS fan hears this, they will come after us.
Like I'm not calling it bad. I'm not calling it bad. I just thought it was whatever. And I'm admitting, like, I'm saying that makes me trash. So like I know that I'm wrong. Because of course I must be wrong because people like are willing to die for this.
They're in the BTS army. They enlisted.
And they've done wonderful things for the world, like when K-pop Twitter like silenced a bunch of hateful kind of things during the BLM movement and stuff like that. So I appreciate them and what they've done, but like the BTS army and stuff, but like I just like I was expecting to turn it on and be like, I get it, I love this. I don't know, I guess it was just like whatever.
Did you watch the music videos with it?
No, I turned it on during dinner.
I think you kind of have to watch some of the visuals with it because like K-pop can be a very visual storytelling. I think that's a part of the storytelling as well, maybe.
Okay. I'll give it another go.
Give it a round. Give it a round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways.
BTS army, please hold off. Ceasefire. Ceasefire.
I mean, you've literally said things about Taylor Swift before, but okay.
Yeah, I'll take on Taylor Swift before I take on BTS.
That's fair.
I'll take on the Swifties.
Anyway, that's why I'm trash. Why are you trash?
So we just had a primary election in California last week, and it's very important to vote. I was very adamant. I was very vocal on my social media about the importance of voting, especially in this particular primary for mayor in LA. But, my time is very valuable. And as a registered voter, I get a lot of mail and I get phone calls. And I answered a phone call. I'll answer unknown numbers a lot of times. And I got, especially during campaign election season, and I got a call, and it was a campaign worker. And they're like, "Hi, do you have a moment to hear about da-da-da's campaign?" You know?
Hmm.
And normally I'll hear them out for like a second or so, unless it's someone I'm just like, absolutely not. I don't support this person. Thank you. Bye. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm in a hurry. I didn't have shit to do. I just didn't want to hear it that day.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, I'm sorry, I can't. And they would go, the person's voice, the wilt in that person's voice, they just go, it's important. It's for mayor.
Oh my God.
And I was like, gotta go. I hung up on it. But I like most of the time I'm like, oh, it's just it's a volunteer. It's a, maybe a paid person on a campaign staff. But I was like, this person is taking this job the most serious out of anyone I've ever experienced. But they just like, it's important. It's for mayor.
Please.
It's like I was like not feeding their child at a train station, They were like, please. Like, I just hung up on them, and I was like, I wanted to be like, I do my civic duty. I donate. I vote. I didn't know how to like express that in 20 in less than 10 seconds to them. But I was like, I just don't have the time.
Well, you don't owe them that explanation either.
But I
I
wanted
mean,
them to know I was civilly active and not know that I'm trash. But it was it was, yeah, it was just, I wanted them to think of me highly still.
do you think that they get calls like that in like Ojai? Because Ojai, the mayor is a dog, right?
Oh, well, I know it in Idlewild.
Idlewild,
Max
that's
is a
what I'm
dog mayor. Mhm.
right. Idlewild. So like, do you think that like in Idlewild, they're getting like, you know, because I was getting these calls, man, like 14 a day, kind of it was like getting up to. I don't answer them,
Mhm.
but also like that's like a ingrained thing in me that you don't answer unknown numbers because they could be bill collectors, even though
Yes.
I'm not in debt anymore. And certainly not in the kind of debt that would go to collections anymore. But like, I just like that's ingrained in me to not answer those phone calls. But imagine being in Idlewild and then someone calling
Mhm.
and it was like, "Do you have a moment to talk about this upcoming election?" "No, I don't." "Ma'am, this is for mayor. This is I'm representing the opponent, which is a different dog."
Gus is a good boy, and he's running against Max. Max has
Max
bitten two people in the last year.
Max takes underwear and steals it. Gus has never chewed on a piece of furniture in his life.
I just the campaign hits against Max, like the attack ads where it's just like Max walking and then like a freeze frame that turns to black and white, and it's like Max was caught urinating in public. Max was shit in the yard and nobody cleaned it up after him. Just like
Bad boy, Max.
yeah, Max is a bad boy. Is this who you want as your mayor? Vote Gus 2022.
Max stinks.
I'm going to move to Idlewild. This is it. I'm moving to Idlewild to run an animal against Max for mayor.
Wow, that would be nuts.
But I'm going to do a documentary about it. Okay, cut this. This is,
Oh yeah.
we're giving so much good stuff away. Oh no. Okay.
This is what they say about like, you have to write and create in the mornings.
Yes, it's like my morning pages.
Yeah.
Let's get into our stories.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Oh my goodness. You know where we're going to start in the morning?
Florida.
Of course. Of course. That's, orange juice comes from Florida. It just feels like an appropriate place to start.
Mm-hmm.
From Fox13News.com, Florida man tells deputies he only drank at stop signs and signals.
So that's illegal.
But he wasn't driving. he said he wasn't drinking and driving. He was only drinking while stopped.
That might work for texting, but that doesn't work for alcohol, sir.
So Indian County Sheriff deputies were at a McDonald's in Vero Beach because a car was repeatedly bumping into cars in front of it at a drive-through.
I think that this would be considered entrapment, but like, why more police officers don't just like wait outside of fast food restaurants after 1 a.m. to catch drunk drivers, I do not know.
You should just get a ticket inside of every Happy Meal that you order after 2 a.m. 100%.
Yeah, like set up a checkpoint to get out, and then like, I don't know what fast food restaurant would like that. Though.
License, registration, and how many hamburgers did you order?
Yeah.
7? Okay, you're gonna come with us.
I'm only seeing one person in the car, and it looks like you opted for the 40-piece McNugget meal. You wanna? Why don't you take a step outside?
Am I under arrest or being detained? Yes.
Like, you can't search my vehicle unless you have probable cause. Ma'am, you ordered 5 cheesy bean and rice burritos. That's probable cause.
So the deputy had noted the strong smell of alcohol on the gentleman's breath and noticed his eyes were red and his speech was slurred. And when asked him how he was doing, he said, "I'm feeling pretty good."
Yeah.
I bet he was feeling pretty good up until this moment.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I'll tell you what, this guy was honest. He said, I'm only drinking at the stop signs. I'm feeling very well. And I've also never had a driver's license because he only had a Florida ID card.
Oh, buddy. At least he, was, honest.
Yeah. He blew a 1.53 on the breathalyzer test. So that's
Ooh.
pretty high. He was drunk. He was drunk, you guys.
Yes. Well, who should get drunk when they celebrated their 100-year birthday?
I guess the woman in our next story, although is that chill?
To drink on your 100-year birthday?
Yeah.
I mean, if I turn 100, I think there's an old comedy bit about this, but I'm going to do heroin for the first time if I make it to 100. Like, I feel like it should be legal at that age. Where it's like all drugs should be legal if you're 100 plus. Like,
I don't think that that's a good idea, though. Just like speaking from an insurance standpoint, like that, like if you die of a heroin overdose when you're 100, you might get, like, your family might not get the money you have for life insurance. But we don't have to get into the semantics of that. From WFLA.com, a federal agency asks a 100-year-old Tampa Bay woman to prove that she's still alive.
after her checks stopped coming in. So Betty Ashley made headlines as a lively senior who walked the Gasparilla 5K during her 90s and served as Grand Marshal this year at the age of 100.
Her husband, who sure is dead, I don't know. But,
Yes, her former husband.
Yes.
Her late husband. Her late husband.
I couldn't find the words for you.
Her late husband.
He worked at the post office for a gazillion years, I imagine, more than 20 years. And so she gets checks from the post office, like as like his what
widow spout.
Yeah, some sort of like thanks, I guess. Anyway, so she stopped getting these checks and she's like, excuse me, I need this money to pay my taxes and stuff. And the post office was like, are you still alive?
That's an insane thing. Like, you would get a notice. The government. So the woman sent a notarized form to the OBM, the Office of Personnel Management, OPM, and a picture of her with a. Yeah, sorry.
Office of Personnel Management. Like, you just didn't care.
So Ashley sent a notarized form to the OPM with a picture of her in a current newspaper, like a proof of life, like a hostage situation. But it has not been enough to unlock the payments.
Wow. Can I make a suggestion to this woman?
Mm-hmm.
Stop paying taxes.
Yeah, because if they don't know you're alive, they won't know you're not dead. What are they gonna do?
Like, she's like, this payments have been helping me pay, like the taxes over the years. It's because the payments, the taxes are going up. It's been harder and harder to make ends meet. Like, then stop making ends meet. Like, like when you budget as like a young adult and you're like, okay, we have to stop going out. We have to, like I can't get my nails done, like whatever the fuck it is.
Mhm.
When I'm an older person, senior citizen, especially in my late 90s to 100, it's the opposite. Like, okay, we need to budget. I need to stop paying my mortgage, my
Mhm.
taxes, my like, all these things because I need to make sure I have enough money to go out to eat.
Yes.
All this stuff. Like, this is an upstanding citizen that she's like, can I please have this money that my husband worked his whole life for so that I can then pay it back into the government?
Not me. I'd be like, y'all come take it from me. It'd be
Yeah.
like Erica's last stand. Like,
I mean, and like this is bad advice, in the sense of like you really fuck over your family if you go deeply into debt when you're older. But like I'm talking about me because by the time that I'm in my 90s or 100, if I make it that long, the world is going to be like, if it's not to Mad Max levels, it's definitely going to be like at least 20 degrees hotter and everything's going to be fucked anyways.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like I should just go out on like a jet ski or like just something really crazy, but I definitely don't think I should be paying taxes.
Yeah, I do plan on having like the modern Viking funeral, which is where my body is laid to rest on a jet ski, and then people do shoot arrows at it that way. Like
Mm,
they just tape my thumb to a throttle, and then you all shoot arrows at it as I run off into the ocean. Yeah, that's
that sounds crazy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, nothing's gonna matter at that point. But you know what did matter on this day in our next story?
This is sent in by Maya Worthy, who we love. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. From the NewYorkPost.com. A Sabbath service derails after a couple begins having sex on Zoom.
You guys, it's like they don't listen to Trashy Trashy. We keep telling you, just make sure that camera's off.
I even have a sticker onto like a little slide that
Mhm.
covers my camera.
Yeah.
It, so, a Randy couple who zoomed into services at a Minneapolis synagogue hosted a bat mitzvah forgot to turn off their cameras as they began to make a mitzvah of their own.
Also, what about being zoomed in on a bar mitzvah is like, or a bat mitzvah is,
Horny.
yeah, like this is like, what, isn't this a bat mitzvah is for a Jewish girl to turning 12 or 13?
I think they're
Or 14?
13.
How old for a bat mitzvah? 12 or 13. Okay, great.
Mm,
We did it.
we did it. We'll be secured in the kingdom. So they were just fully canoodling in front of the verklempt congregants. And so, according to the article, the impromptu version of Debbie Does Deuteronomy,
Mm,
clever, clever. The New York Post never stops New York posting.
no.
It happened on May 14th in a Twin Cities Temple Bethiel.
So it was like, it said it went on for 45 minutes. This woman was walking around naked. She got dressed. She's in and out of the Zoom. This guy was in bed. He whipped out his penis. And then she started doing things with the penis. And then finally, someone said, like, texted her, called her and said, "What are you doing? You're on camera." Why didn't you call her when she was walking around naked?
Yes, 100%. This could have been preempted.
Yeah, this seemed avoidable.
So this was formally known or informally known as pulling a Tubin, an incident known after CNN legal analyst Jeffrey Tubin began pleasuring himself on a live Zoom call with the staff for the New Yorker in October of 2020. The magazine fired him, but CNN allowed him to return on air after a brief suspension.
Yeah. Uh, you know, I mean, this is tons of people. Lots of people have been doing it.
Mhm.
And it just, if you can see yourself, everyone else can see you too.
Yes. Yes. And you know what? You know where I can see myself come this December?
Where?
Looking at the Mona Lisa in the Louvre in Paris.
Are you going to Paris in December?
I will be, yes.
One of my favorite places. I'm going in March.
Oh, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. But this next story comes to us from the New York Times, NPR, and it was sent in by Adam Cantley. Thank you, Adam.
I don't want to brag, but I do subscribe to the New York Times.
I don't want to brag, but I use your subscription for the New York Times. And I do want to take a moment to brag. I recently signed up to be an LA Times member. So I'll give you my login.
Thank you, but ugh,
You are ready.
I've thrown out the LA Times before. I don't know if you heard that. Um, but it's okay. It's cool. It's cool. You know, I mean, potato, tomato, I guess. Man throws a pastry at the Mona Lisa and smears cream all over the glass case.
So the painting was not harmed, and the man, who officials said was in a wheelchair, had faked a disability to get close to it and was taken into custody.
So he was dressed as a woman and in a wheelchair, and then he sprung out of it once he got close enough, ducked under the rope barrier, and spread a pastry or cake all over it, and was screaming in French, of course. Think about the earth. There are people destroying the earth. Think about it. Artists tell you, think of the earth.
That's why I did it, he said. So it's just, it's just insane. So, I mean, I get a protest, but like, you're not doing it's in a protected glass, and unless it's truly filmed, like you're not really getting anywhere. I haven't really heard much about this story.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's like I understand the idea behind it of like, let me like think we have to think about the planet, not about something like as stupid as the Mona Lisa, I guess. But it's also like, do you think that some fucking like Texas oil baron or like, a factory owner in China like was there and saw that and was like, fuck, this was the push I needed
Mm-hmm.
to stop doing like do your protests where those people are at. I think everyone
Yeah.
else is thinking of the earth.
Yeah, constantly.
Like to a point where I don't plan on paying taxes once I get to my 90s.
Yeah, I'm not having children because I think the earth's going to be a hellscape.
Yeah.
Museums have been vandalized over the years. So especially the Mona Lisa. In 1956, a man threw a stone at the painting, shattering the glass and scratching the Mona Lisa's left elbow, causing a chip of paint to fall off.
He said for no reason too. He was like, meh, I had a stone in my pocket and I was like, I should throw it.
I fucking get that. As a former 6-year-old, I get it. It's like, I got a rock. I should fucking throw that rock, man.
Sometimes I think about like, I think everyone does this, but like when you're in a situation and you just think about like what's the craziest shit you could do right now and like if the consequences like would be worth dealing with it, like I've been in like traffic, like bumper to bumper traffic, like in Elysian Park, and I'm like, I should just drive my fucking car through the park. Like, and just like, I'm not going to hurt anybody.
Mm-mm.
I'm just going to really, really get in a lot of trouble. And like, how much trouble is too much? I don't know. Sometimes minds do that. See, this guy was just like, I'm going to throw a rock at the Mona Lisa.
Yeah. Well, it's insane. Oh, I've never been to the Louvre, which Cassandra and I have been blessed enough to have been. The Mona Lisa, it's just, but it's small. It's a small painting. Behind it, on the opposite wall, is a almost floor to ceiling size mega scale, like a huge like painting. It takes up an entire wall, like a gorgeous painting that like everyone just has their back to, and it just blows my mind. Anyway, you know what else blows my mind?
What?
I guess just when people just don't get to know their spouse enough before getting married.
I'm I get where you're going with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that something else was going on in this next story, but like I'm gonna say that there's some audacity involved, but carry on.
Well, according to boingboing.net, a husband divorces his wife because she would only cook him instant noodles for all of their meals.
This is in Mysuru, India. Husband and wife divorced 1 hour after, or excuse me, 1 year after being married because she only would buy and only would prepare instant noodles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But it was a mutual divorce.
Yes, I feel like maybe she didn't want to get married.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have a feeling that she was kind of hoping that they would get divorced to a point where she was willing to eat that many instant noodles. What's crazy to me is like she wasn't force feeding him noodles. Like, just eat something else then. Like,
Mm-hmm.
unless like you're really thinking your wife has to cook for you.
Yeah. Yeah. The judge who was interviewed for the story says divorce cases are increasing drastically over the years. Couples have to stay together for a year, according to the law, before seeking divorce. If there were no such law, there would be divorce petitions filed directly from the wedding halls, he said.
There's been divorce cases by couples just a day after their marriage for not talking with their partner, for putting salt on the wrong side of the plate, for stitching the wrong color wedding suit, for not taking the wife out, and there's all kinds of other reasons. That salt on the wrong side of the plate thing sounds like it's like a bad omen or something, and they're like, "Oh, I'm really superstitious. We have to get divorced."
Well, just it sounds to me like that, like what is it, the broken windows policing, where it's if you see one little thing, there's probably something big gonna happen down the line.
Broken windows policing. Is that a short story, Erica? What the fuck are you talking?
No, it's like the fucking New York's whole if you see a broken window, there's probably bigger crime happening. And like it's a whole racist thing.
Oh, okay.
It's a whole bad thing. Anyway, you know who we got an update. We got an update on a
Big
story we
update.
covered previous. Big update. $55.2 million worth of an update.
So we had a woman in Missouri, and who I believe I said maybe this woman is brilliant, but I didn't want to also promote potential insurance fraud. But this woman was trying to get a payout from an auto insurance company because she was having sex with a guy in his car, and he was the insured driver of said car, and she got HPV in the car. So she's like, your auto insurance, Geico, you owe me money.
Yes. So she claimed, she got an STI from her romantic partner in the car, and a panel of 3 found that the judgment entered against Geico through an earlier arbitration proceeding was valid and that she was awarded $5.2 million.
She fucking got it.
I'm like honestly so proud of her.
Like, right? I don't know why. Because it's like, this is like crazy and a tedious and silly thing, and what a weird hill to die on. But like, it's brilliant, I think. Also, like, I mean, we live in like that's playing that's playing the game that we're in, you know? Like, nobody likes that this is a thing. But this kind of shit, people are doing stupid lawsuits all the time. And like, fuck, this, you hooked up in a car and got HPV, which like men don't even know that they have HPV. And then you just get $5 million because you put in the hard work, you put in the legwork to fucking make it make sense. And you take it from a company like Geico, who's got plenty of money.
They have a gecko as a spokesperson. They aren't even paying a human being to be a spokesperson. They have a animated cartoon. That's how much money they're saving. Like
when you switch to Geico.
when you switch to Geico. Also, full disclaimer, this article actually uses the term STD and sexually transmitted disease. However, MSN, I will ping them after this recording. The way we talk about things now is to say STI. We don't use the STD anymore. We say sexually transmitted infection, and now
Why?
because it's a way of framing it, and the way that we should talk about um, sexually transmitted infections rather than disease. I think it's like a stigma thing, and we've just changed the way we discuss those things, and it's like old language, I guess.
I see. I know you're right, but the fact that you're going to actually ping MSN over this
Oh,
it's not Karen behavior. It's just feels silly. Like,
I got to hold up journalistic standards as a journalist to another journalist.
right. Again, like, I know you're right, but like, it's not like MSN was like using the N word. Like, they just, like, it just kind of feels like I'm curious what else you have going on today that you feel like I gotta send this email.
Hey man, maybe it's a tweet. Maybe it's a strongly worded tweet.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, Snowflake. That's all I'm gonna say to you.
Sometimes you got to whisper, and sometimes you got to shout to get your message across.
It's crazy because it's like I know you're right, but like the way I'm just like I don't know, whatever, fuck me. I'm I'm not putting my hands in cuffs by you, PC police, not this morning. That's what I'm fucking saying.
Well,
Call me Adam Carolla.
no. Oh no.
Okay, we have to get to this next story because this woman is my actual fucking hero. I don't think that you should commit crimes, and Lord knows I'm not planning on committing crimes, but if I did commit a crime, I have a feeling this is how it would go.
From the dailyrecord.co.uk.
A drunk woman steals a 45-foot ferry while shouting, "I'm Jack Sparrow."
Should we name her?
No.
Okay.
She's too important.
Okay.
She drank Lambrini and then ate poisonous nightshade, which is hallucination inducing. It's also very deadly. I don't know. It's a little confusing. But anyway, she's on hallucinogens and she was drunk. And she just like went up to a ferry, undid the ropes, and stole it and just kind of drifted, like playing like bumper cars with like all these other boats just down the dock.
But the whole time she was yelling. She was drunk. She stole this ferry, and she was yelling, "I'm Jack Sparrow. I'm a pirate."
Because what else do you yell? Like it makes complete sense to me that that's what you yell. What I love the most about it is that when like the police were like trying to stop her, she was like, "What are you gonna do now? I believe this is out of your jurisdiction." And this is why it has me written all over it, because if I was to steal a boat and there was cops on land trying to yell at me, I'd be like, "Excuse me, I am in international waters now. This is pirate law. I'm under
Pirate
sea
law. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, she invoked pirate law. Parlay. What is it when the pirates get together and they have their
I don't know, but like she's like, "Fuck you. I'm Jack Sparrow. I'm a pirate. This is pirate law. Go home. Go home." Until someone else on this ferry that tells me to walk the plank, which, oop, I'm on this shit alone. I'm good. But then 30 police, a lifeboat crew, coast guards, and paramedics eventually came and stopped her. But she went for like an hour.
Yeah. So she was going up the river and she undid the mooring ropes and drifted upriver on the tide, bashing into other boats like a pinball machine.
The cops arrested her after an hour, and they said that we'd have ended up in Saint Tropez. Oh no, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Cut all that.
Oh,
When she finally was caught, she said to the cops, "We'd have ended up in Saint Tropez if we hadn't been caught." Which I fucking love that. Like the the way I wish that I could just steal a boat, yell at cops until I'm under pirate law, and then when I finally do get caught, being like, "Ah, if only I'd made it to the Bahamas, you boys would have never seen me again," or something like that. I just wish. Oh, I wish. But
Cassandra,
there's consequences.
there's nothing stopping you but the consequences.
Yeah.
You can do anything you put your mind to.
Like, no, I can't say this one. I can't say it out loud. I will, but like, I'm not supporting this at all. I'm in therapy, so it's fine. It's cool. The world sometimes is so fucked up that it is kind of like, maybe, maybe I could, maybe I should, you know,
Yeah.
like nobody got hurt, just a bunch of assholes with boats. Like their boats got broke a little bit. She's going to jail, but like, it's kind of like, okay,
And
maybe,
and those boats are insured up the ass. This
like,
feels like she was like, are we in a simulation? Let me test. You
yes.
know,
Oh, Erica, what if she is a time traveler?
that's what I was getting there. This is her test.
Holy shit.
We did it. We did Time Traveler
And
and
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot in one episode. Drink.
Bingo.
You're at home.
Speaking of being at home,
Lots of time to make babies if you're at home.
according to apnews.com, IKEA Norway offers help with baby names after COVID-19 baby boom. Says, have you thought of Malm, Kivik, or Trotten?
Swedish retailer IKEA is known for the distinctive names of its flat pack home products. The company's Norway branch wants to use the brand's experience to help parents browsing the baby naming department.
Can I make a suggestion to IKEA, like as a PR person?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they stay out of like the baby business in general, or like just don't like associate themselves with children because of like how many kids have died, like because their products were like not safe for so long.
What do you
Like
mean?
there'd be like dressers and shit, and like they wouldn't the center
Oh,
of balance on these dressers and things, and like the weight limits and stuff, like now they put in their in like put in kits to reinforce your stuff, but for like years, like so long, there was like all these horrible stories of like kids like being kids and like climbing up on a dresser, and then the dresser toppling over because it was so fucking cheap and not made to like hold any weight at all, even the weight of a 2-year-old, and then they like died.
oh, I didn't know this.
The whole like I think I watched something on a documentary on Netflix. I think it's like one of those like Bad Money kind of, those types of documentaries that they have on Netflix. And
Mhm.
like one of them was about like these IKEA like kind of fast furniture sort of brands, and like how they're ruining, the rainforest, and then on top of that like have like very dangerous products for children. Um because it's, and all the stories are like devastating because like the parents would be like, I literally left, turned around for 20 seconds.
Oh my God.
Anyways, all I'm saying is maybe IKEA. I don't know. Like that was the first thing that came to my head when IKEA was like, "Why don't you name your child Billy or Mom?" It's like, why don't you fuck off?
Sometimes our cat jumps in an open drawer on our IKEA dresser, and
Is
it's
it
like it has
reinforced?
it's really cute. I don't know. It just is like, oh, I live here now. It's like a little cat sized drawer for me. And it's just really cute. So now I'm worried that it's gonna capsize on it.
Well, you better earthquake proof it.
Yes, I will. Good to know. Hey,
Anyways, funny, huh?
yes. Ooh. So, yes. So, a Scandinavian country registered the birth of 56,060 babies last year, 3,081 more than in 2020. The increase creates a challenge in finding unique names. There's a woman who started a website to name Chinese babies, give them English names, like, unique English names. And she makes like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of $1,000s a year. And I'm just saying, if people in Norway need help coming up with unique names, we should get in business. We have some listeners in Norway. If you need a name, I got some, because there is a name better than Trotten.
Sure. What's a better name than Trotten, though?
Trevor, Colton,
I was thinking Thomas,
Brock,
Taylor,
Taylor. That's a good one.
John.
Winston.
Oh,
Go back to the source. John.
but then again, are we pushing on our, Americanizing like Norwegian names?
Well, I'm just saying, if they need help finding names, we'll all make up a name. We'll find it. We'll find it.
We'll help them. Okay,
We'll help
that's
them.
fine. Erica, are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm feeling very ready.
Well, then, oh
yeah,
God.
it's time for the dumpster fire of the week. Oh, is that the new sting?
No, that was just a genuine burp. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
From foodandwine.com. Ooh la la. Taco Bell's futuristic drive-through restaurant uses tiny elevators to deliver your meal.
That's right, folks. Taco Bell has invented banks from the 80s and 90s.
Because honestly, if there's any food that can travel through a little cylinder, I think it might be a taco or a burrito.
The first of the chain's new high-tech drive-through focused locations opens this week.
In Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, and it's 2 stories tall. There's 4 lanes, and 3 of those lanes have little elevators, like with like little chains kind of thing that lowers the food down to your car
Via a cylindrical proprietary vertical lift. If you're old enough to remember, this is how banking used to happen. You would put in a check or your cash into a cylindrical tube, and then you would pop it in, and it would suction and seal it, and then deliver it to the teller inside of the bank. And then they would do your thing, and then deliver you the receipt.
That there was like nothing more lit than that as a kid.
It was so fun. So fun.
God, imagine being an adult in the 90s.
Oh my God. Just getting to do banking, writing checks, delivering checks.
Owning a house.
Oh my God. Without 128% inflation. Oh,
that would have been so sick. And then we could just be boomers now.
And then go back in my day.
You guys are ungrateful. Fuck you. Think of the earth.
To create these lifts, Taco Bell and franchise owner Border Foods teamed up with self-described Disruptive Solutions Consultancy. I'm sorry. There was the vomit was in my throat, and I'm so sorry. I have to swallow.
I'm the CEO of Disruptive Solutions Consultancy.
The firm's called Vertical Works, which dreamed up these fast food elevators. Again, just what banks had from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
I dreamed this up.
It's called a memory. As a way to speed up service, but also to set Taco Bell apart from other food brands.
So long story short, I mean, so there's just like with the bank, there's three three that have these cylinders, and then there's one that you can get a real person. I actually think prescriptions used to come like this too, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh yeah, I think pharmacies used to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. But this they're gonna try to start seeing which other Taco Bells they can turn into the branded Taco Bell Defy location, and see how many other places they can do this. And the whole thing is that you're supposed to get your food within 2 minutes or less because of this. Because Lord knows the thing that was taking that long wasn't just hopefully the creation of your food, it was the long, tedious process of someone passing your food.
I
Whoa.
I'm
What?
just I'm just worried about like the day, and I feel like coming where they're like, we've replaced all the people with robots that will make your, your chalupa now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it still need people, but like, I
Yeah,
definitely
to oil the robots
get-
until we make a robot that oils the oil itself and the other robots.
I think I'm just kind of like, I don't totally understand why fast food is modernizing itself in this way, because I don't think that Taco Bell, the business is always going to be there. Do you make tacos and are you open 24 hours? Okay, that's it. You're good.
You're going to
That's it.
continue to sell. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think we need this, but
Bring back the pizza, the Mexican pizza, and you'll make more money.
they're fucking bringing that shit back. All they did was create all that hype about they took it away, and then they got the musical and the Doja Cat and the Dolly Parton. Girl, you're playing into their game if you think that
It
shit's
was
not coming
new
back.
Coke. It was new Coke,
What?
Do you remember when Coca-Cola sold a thing called, they took Coke off the market and they were
Uh-huh.
like, oh, we have new Coke. And it was called New Coke. And they were like, there's a new formula, there's new Coke. And it was so bad. Everyone was like, we hate it. And they were like, bring back original Coke. And then original Coke came back. They said, okay, we've heard you. And then new Coke or old Coke sales skyrocketed for months and months and months and years.
I mean, it's a classic,
Yeah.
a classic, thing to do.
Yeah. So in 1985, the new Coke, they dropped a new formula. I mean, it was the informal name. They didn't call it new Coke, but they said, oh, here's a new formula. It's Coke 2, basically. And then it was so bad. And then they came back, and then Coke sales skyrocketed. Within 3 months, they had, and now Coca-Cola is called Coca-Cola Classic. And it was a huge sales boost.
Just being duped.
Constantly. There's a Taco Bell walking distance from my house, like very, very close. And I can honestly say I've never walked there.
Have you driven there?
Yes, many a times. But then sometimes I'm like, you know what? I have willpower. And then I like pat myself on the back. I'm like, it's called willpower, baby. I've never walked at Taco Bell, but I have driven there multiple times.
I used to live close to Taco Bell, and like it's crazy how truly my proximity to a Taco Bell is very directly aligned with how often I eat Taco Bell, because like now that I don't live close to Taco Bell, can't remember the last time I've had it.
Yeah.
But when I lived near one, that was very frequently like a bad decision, late night treat.
I love the fry bread, the chalupas. Oh,
Erica, what are you hoarding?
okay, I'm hoarding Fringe shows. It's the Los Angeles Fringe this throughout the month of June, and anytime your city has a Fringe festival, you should support it. It's people putting up all sorts of entertaining shows, plays, musicals, comedy shows, all sorts of stuff. And I support local theater as much as you can. And I'm definitely going out and seeing, as many Friends shows as I can. I'll plug a couple right now. Time Flies, if you're in the LA area, is going to be a great one. My friend Bonnie He has a really great show. You can go to, if you're in the Los Angeles area, you can go to hollywoodfringe.org, and it runs June 9th through June 26th. And you can check out all of the Fringe festivals that are happening, or shows that are happening, and they have family friendly, one person shows, all sorts of, categories that you can kind of choose from. And, I just say, get out there and support local theater. So I'm supporting Fringe shows in general. So I say, go support local theater if you can.
All right.
Yeah. What are you hoarding?
Well, when you're like, ugh, yuck, I don't want to leave my house, maybe watch the Trixie Motel on Disney or on Discovery Plus.
Yes. Yes.
It's a lot of fun. It's drag queen Trixie Mattel, because a lot of drag queen made famous on RuPaul's Drag Race, and then obviously like on all of their other endeavors, them and their partner bought a motel in Palm Springs and are renovating it, and they made a show out of it, and it's cute. It's nice. It's you know, funny and just like nice mindless watching. And then you're like, oh, this would be a nice motel to stay in, and then you look and you're like, oh, it's sold out for the next couple months. And then when it's not sold out, it's like, holy shit, these are like $650, $700 rooms. Anyways, but yeah, it's nice. Like, I like watching it. There's a lot of, I'm gonna call it smut, a lot of smut on
Yeah.
Discovery Plus, but Trixie Motel's good.
Did you watch that TikTok before it disappeared?
Yes.
There's an incredible TikTok that the creators took it down or got stricken from their page, but it was the concept is, people are pitching reality shows to Hulu and Netflix, and they're Hulu and Netflix are, personified, and they're like people in, girls in suits, and they're like, I don't know, that doesn't sound like us. And then Discovery Plus looks like a bridge troll with black eyes and like scrappy hair, and they're like,
Give it to me.
give it to me. They're like, okay, this one's called Big People, Little World, 1,000-pound stalkers.
I'll take it.
I'll
Good.
take it. Yes, give it to me. It's the most absurd, disgusting sounding reality shows ever. And Hulu and Netflix are like, that sounds exploitative and not like our brand. And Discovery Plus is like, yes, I want it. Give it to me.
It's pretty funny. What are you throwing out, Erica?
Okay. You get an impromptu pedicure. And I think everyone should get a pedicure. Take care of your feet, people. It's a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Scrape your heels.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get a color on your toes if you don't want to, but get a pedicure. I'm throwing out the fact that if you don't happen to have a sandal with you, if you get an impromptu pedicure, a nail salon giving you these pieces of paper that they call a flip-flop, give me an actual dollar flip-flop. If you've ever seen somebody leaving a nail salon and they're like, oh, is that paper, is that toilet paper on their foot? No, that's like the shoe that they give you if you don't have sandals to put on. They're literally the thinnest thing it's paper. It's 2 layers of paper.
Some places do have flip-flops for purchase.
Some, but most of them have just those little pieces of paper. And it is disgusting.
Here's the thing, because you've told a story before, I think while you're trash, of like you decided to go on a grocery trip in a pair of these paper flip-flops. And like, I love you, but this sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
you need to plan out your pedicures better.
Again, I said impromptu, impromptu.
And then where are you going? You're just going straight home, right?
Yes, but even then you got to walk on the sidewalk, you got to walk down the hallway. You run the
Sure.
risk of having a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, and in LA, you don't want your feet just a paper away from the concrete and stuff. I guess I get it.
Mhm. Anyway,
Um,
what are you throwing out?
you can throw those
Oh.
out. I didn't mean to come for you like that. I just, I
Yeah.
also would say maybe a pair of like car sandals for you.
Yes. Good call. Good call. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not here to fix your problems. I'm here to support you. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
fuck
you.
those.
Yeah.
Fuck those shitty. I mean, they're bad. You're not wrong. They're bad. And it hurts.
Mhm. Mhm. And what are you throwing out?
Ugh, I got a root canal. Like it was like actually like not that bad, but that's because like literally half my face was fucking numb. But then you gotta like they prescribe you antibiotics often after root canals because they're like, all that shitty infected tooth that you had like is like now going up into your bloodstream or whatever. So I had to like go to pick up prescriptions for the first time in a long time, and holy shit, that was terrible.
Where'd you go?
CVS. Oh my God.
Yes. Might
was
as
like-
well be the Wild Wild West.
This was like a circle of hell.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone around me had their own thing, like someone was either like had like 4 dogs, like someone was just way too chatty and standing too close. Some people looked very like sick, which is not like trying to be mean, but I'm like, holy shit, like you're gonna give everyone in here like COVID or something. Like it was just like, and it was also, it took forever. And these poor people who were like getting the prescriptions for everyone are like overworked and just getting yelled at every day. It felt like the DMV in that sense, and it just sucked.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
like if you try to call them, like no one will ever answer because they're just too busy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was bad. And then I was like, I told my partner, I was like, why don't they have more like at home services? He's like, oh, they do. And I'm like, well, why don't more people do that? And he was like, well, because you risk it getting lost in the mail. And so it's like your two options are to go to like this fucking nightmare hellscape and like, do that and stand at CVS for 2 hours, or maybe not get medicine delivered to your door. Like, what a fucking nightmare.
I'm gonna ping you a private pharmacy right now. But anyway, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
Like, I think I'm going to take a stance. I think I'm going to say something really controversial right now.
Mhm.
Something needs to be done about the pharmaceutical industry.
That's a bold choice. That's a bold stance.
Yeah. I think something needs to get done.
All right. And where can people find you, Cassandra?
At Cass Cardenas on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram is private. You're welcome to follow me and just let me know in a message who you are. Or you can, follow my Twitter where I tweet once a month. I thought of 2 good tweets on the same day, and I was like, well, I don't want to double tweet. So I tweeted one of them, and now I've forgotten the other one.
Oh, you got to save the drafts. Save it to drafts. Write it out. Save it to drafts. Yeah, that's the key. Yeah.
You can also find me on the Nooner podcast on the Smodcast Network. Where can people find you?
At Iconic Erica Curry on Instagram and at Gilligal on Twitter. And you can find this podcast at Trashy Trashy Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, or at our website, trashytrashypodcast.com, on our Gmail at trashytrashypodcast@gmail.com. Let us know why you're trash. Send us in a story. And as always, we would love a 5-star review. It helps more people find the podcast. And we always support listeners like you. The PBS approach. Right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
You stay garbage, girl.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.